Nice. Is it buried?
Oh.
Here we are. It is a minute till the top of the hour here. In fact, actually, it's about 6 o'clock on Tuesday, April the 14th, 2026. This is a regular monthly meeting of the Meyersdale Borough Council. Welcome everybody here in the chambers, those watching on our YouTube station, either now or sometime in the future. So with that, we'll have the flag ceremony, and Olivia will offer our opening prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father, we thank you for all you have done for each and every one of us here this evening. We ask that you continue to bless each one of us that is here and give us all your special blessings. Now help us to conduct the business of our town in a way that is pleasing to you and to do everything according to your will and your purpose. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Olivia. Patty, the roll call, please.
Mr. Ackerman. Here. Mr. Bear.
Here.
Mr. Christner had to leave. He had some problems with his hearing aid. Mrs. Navy. Here. Mr. Irwin.
Here.
Mr. Munyon.
Present.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Solicitor Valentine.
Here.
Mayor Smith is absent. Olivia Baker. Here. No police and Brian.
Thank you, Patty. If council will allow, Olivia has asked if she could give her report and move on, to be in high school again. So take it away, Olivia.
Okay, here's the April events for high school. April 8th was Maple Festival cleanup with FFA and Tech Ed. April 9th was the assembly with Martin Lockett for Students Against Destructive Decisions. That was held from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Tomorrow, which is April 15th, is the Tech Ed manufacturer trip. April 16th is FFA Spring Skills Contests. April 24th is the Student Symposium. Along with April 24th, the jazz band is playing at Maple Festival Park for the Maple Festival. April 25th is the Maple Festival Parade. April 27th is the Flight 93 trip for the sophomores, along with baseball's senior night. April 28th, we have 3 things: Envirothon competition at Laurel Hill State Park, FSU nursing tour from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., along with track senior night. May 1st is the senior trip to Washington, D.C. May 2nd are the SATs, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. May 4th, the jazz band is going to nursing homes. May 5th is the catfish release field trip day, along with the mock disaster. And May 6th is the NHS induction ceremony at 1:15 p.m.
Thank you. Any questions for Olivia?
Do you know offhand what manufacturing facility they're gonna go tour?
It's somewhere in West Virginia. I'm not sure.
Patty, that thank you note to the garden club. You can just pass it down then. We're not there yet. Any other questions for Olivia? So when you're ready, go ahead, but you can stay as long as you want. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the minutes, we had one meeting. It was March the 10th, 2026. I read through the minutes. They were somewhat lengthy. Questions, comments, corrections, deletions? Hearing none, could we have a motion to approve the minutes, please? Ron and Tom, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Clarence, the finances, please.
Okay. Under the general fund, there's 63,263.57. Highway aid fund, 166,141.75. Flood control, $76,708.28. Refuge fund, $20,798.99. Lackaby fund, $2,718.33. Pavilion rental fund, $359.63. Lackaby fund, $5,159.78. Fireworks fund, $9,653.91. And local service tax, $26,328.78. And community center funds, $15,135.56. And we need a motion to accept that.
A motion, please. To accept the financial report. Okay, thank you, Ron. Karen seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's unanimous.
Okay, under finance and monthly bills, Garrett Sportsman Association request for sponsorship.
And how much is it, Clarence? What's the amount?
I don't think there is.
Those are the,
That could be just a donation then?
yes.
Well, what are the wishes of the council?
Have we given to them before?
I don't recall that,
No, I don't think we do.
Bob. I wouldn't say for sure, but I don't think we did.
A lot of donations going on now is for their fiction derby for the kids. I don't know if
That's
that's,
what this is about, I
is
think.
that what it's about?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's free for all kids ages 0 to 15. And the club stocks the pond.
Well, what about if we'd make a motion to donate $50, maybe 100?
I'll make the motion, we donate $100 to the.
I'll second
Thank you,
that
Tom
motion.
and Clarence. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That was unanimous vote. Anything
That's all I
else? Alrighty. So we have some guests here. Tara from Moss Holder Insurance. Would you just come up to the podium here, please? And that way the recording can capture the microphones right here so we can hear what you're saying.
And then we made new outlines this year for everybody, so you don't have to flip through 10 pages of papers. It's really easier.
Thank you.
So if you want to start on the second page where we have all the properties listed. This building here, we have 4,129,607, contents of 136,609. The monuments at 65,204. The pavilion on Grant Street's 98,268. Playground equipment 68,022, contents of 6,966. Grant Street, we have a park, a pole with lighting 13,934. The dugouts 4,181. Concession stand 2,000. Contents 696. The scoreboard 17,417. 3 pavilions at 8,361. It's another concession stand at 34,836. Contents 2,733. And then we have a street light on Main Street at 254,996. Traffic light 139,343. Dale Street garage and storage 1,997,984. Contents 81,965. The aggregates buildings at 73,377. The gazebo's at 65,204. And then we just have liability on that building on Grant Street because that hasn't been finalized, right?
That's great. It's just about the.
So once it's done, we'll take that liability off of that.
What is that?
That's what we were just
The
talking.
top number there, was that 4 million or did you say 1 million?
4 million.
Okay, that's,
I don't have my it says
Yeah.
4, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, 4, sorry. Yeah, 4.
you could have said that. It sounded, I thought you said 1.
Yeah, 4,
Maybe.
4.
Okay, that answers.
I thought I could see good enough without them.
And the lights at 4-1, those are, I think, all the lights in town, right? The street lights.
Yes.
And then you have $1 million general liability. You have theft of money inside, outside the premise, and robbery or safe burglary at $25,000. You have $1 million auto liability on a 2013 Ford, an 18 Dodge, a 19 Ford, a 21 Ford, and a 23 Dodge. And they all have 1,000 comprehensive and 1,000 collision deductible. And then you guys have the Inland Marine Premier Pack, so you have $25,000 for any one item, up to $100,000 any single occurrence. So you don't have to list all your smaller items out. But we do have a 99 John Deere front loader at 28,206, a Meyer spreader at 6,499, a Western V plow at 7,635, the Case skid steers at 25,000, and the Case 580 SM is at 27,000. Those all seem okay? And then you have $1 million public official liability, which covers you all if you would be sued. $2 million umbrella limit, which is above the public official and the business auto and the general liability. You have $50,000 cyber liability, 50,000 PA public law coverage, and then $1 million police professional liability.
For a business, when I look at the deductibles, like for the equipment, it's low at 250, and then like comp and collision's 1,000 on the vehicles. I'm just wondering, would we have savings enough to justify it if we increase those deductibles?
Yeah, the auto, it's not like a personal auto that you have a good savings with it, raising the deductibles. And the equipment, you might save some raising that to maybe 500 or 1,000, but it's not gonna be a significant savings.
Okay.
And the premium did come down $2,300 this year.
Good.
Yeah, so your police force is down, so that lowers your risk, so. That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
You have the cyber dam, is that covered? If somebody goes there and drown? I don't see it as.
Where is it?
Sand Spring.
So that's in the township.
Yes, in Summit Township. Yep.
Yeah, so you wouldn't, the township would have to cover that, not, it's not in the borough.
Yeah, but we own it.
We
Oh,
own the property.
has it ever been listed? I've never
Evidently
been-
not, I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been asked that.
It just kind of slipped under the
I think
decks.
a while ago, I know it was listed, back when Jack was still around. That's been a while. That was long before he stopped doing it.
Would you have taken it off?
I don't know. I'd have to
We
look
should
back.
have it for liability. It's a
Yeah,
great
no, it should be
job.
covered by liability.
I agree.
I agree with
Hold
you.
on,
Somebody
let me
goes up
look.
there and gets hurt or.
I don't think we can sell it though. Yeah, give it to, I don't think we can sell it.
Good luck, because that is held in trust for wetlands. Yeah,
No, we don't.
you give it to Kevin, he could start a wetland battle. There's some nice snakes up there, Kevin.
I'll have to go back and look at that. 'Cause I don't remember ever taking it off since I've been here.
I honestly don't remember, since I've been on, going back to 2014, us ever having it covered. I know.
I thought it was.
That's a good point, Tom. It just kind of was one of those things that slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, and it's probably not a significant cost to add it on there. And I probably have the information from Summit Township, so I can look and get the exact address, and I'll let you know about that.
And there's no buildings on it. It's just at one time they had like made a meandering stream to go through this thing so kids could fish in it. That was the intent, I believe, going back, maybe back 2012 or 11. But then that, I believe it's all grown up. Did you ever go up and take a look at it, Bob, yet?
I did.
How's it look up there?
You can get to it, but half the dam is filled in on the one side, on the Miller Road side.
From a liability standpoint, would it help us if we posted it, no trespassing, and like painted the trees purple?
It could, also, there's extensions built into these policies, so you may already have automatic coverage, especially if there's no buildings on there, so I can check that. But I mean, that wouldn't hurt. They're still gonna sue you, but it wouldn't hurt.
If you would check on that, of course, I don't think you have to come back next month unless you want to, but maybe just send Patty an
I
email
will, yeah.
and let us know if there's an extra cost or whatever.
Okay, I can.
Do we have the actual acreage of it?
It was 3 acres on that side.
We can
Yeah,
pull it,
it-
it shows it on the tax bill.
It'll be minimal, the charge.
I will check into that and let Patty know.
Okay, anything else? We have a lot of items here. Thank you for coming
Thank
over,
you.
Tara. But are there any questions here before Karen had a few questions? Tom had a good one too.
What is the,
Thank you.
what is the renewal cost? Is it one annual payment?
33,856. And it's, no, we broke it down into a 9-pay last year or the year before.
For the past couple of years, we've been
Yeah.
paying it all at once.
So I have it on a pay plan. You can pay it how you want, but you might as well just leave it on a pay plan, and then if you need to break it down, you can. It's up to you. You're not gonna save or cost you any more money because you're paying us, not
It's
selective.
the same as you described the authority, no matter if you made the 9
Exactly.
payments or the lump sum, the same amount period.
Right, yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Kevin Yoder, come up to the podium. This is regarding the flood control, cleaning out the upper basin. So away we go, Kevin.
Okay, so back to the Cyber dam a minute. If the borough has no interest in it, you could reach out to the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy and see if they'd be interested in taking it over, because basically that's what they do. Just throwing that out there if you guys want to eliminate the liability. So we want to start getting ready to clean out the debris basin, using the money that was previously allotted for the stream impact, the stream protection that was proposed down at the lower end of the flood control. So it's my understanding that we got the money transferred to the flood basin. So we want to go ahead and get started on that. We have some preliminary mapping done. We have some of the preliminary legwork done, so we can kind of get rolling on that, get it out to bid, and use the rest of the summer to do it, weather permitting. So when we did it before, we removed a little over 10,000 cubic yards of material. And the unit price back then was just a hair over $8 a cubic yard. We had a disposal site close. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a close disposal site or if we're actually gonna have to be on PennDOT roads this time. So if we have to be on PennDOT roads, I would expect that price to go up a little bit, as well as you're probably looking at a 30% inflation cost on the original unit price. Do we have a disposal site in mind?
How did we choose it the last time? Did we put that out in the newspaper? I know people actually were coming to us. They wanted this sediment. I mean, it wasn't like we actually were people were fighting to get the
So
sediment.
we found one location that we could haul it all. Because it's hard for a contractor to give a price when you say you're gonna take a load here and you're gonna take one load here. So we picked the property that was located out toward the end at Keystone Street. A, because it was close, B, because they were traveling on borough streets, which gave us a little flexibility, which helped bring the price down. So if they have to travel PennDOT roads, now the trucks have to be watertight, which is gonna bring your costs up, and it's also gonna bring the number of potential contractors down, because not everybody has watertight trucks.
What about the site that was used?
It's full. Yeah, we probably put too much on it last time.
Well, and I thought they had to find alternate sites there at the end, as I recall.
No, he was willing, so they kept pushing it toward the back of that site so that they could get the last couple in.
Is there a possibility that we can use some of that material if we need to build that access road for the riprap?
It's not gonna be super good fill. It's gonna be, the bottom may be, but it's gonna be a lot of silt. It's gonna be very light, very fluffy, so to speak. There will be some rocks in it. There will be some debris in it. But for the most part, it's really good for lawns. I don't know if I'd use it for structural fit.
What about base? Like just to dump it and cover it down there?
You could probably do that. It's gonna push, it may push a little bit, so you're really gonna have to tighten it up with rock. I mean, basically, it's gonna be something good to tighten up stone, but that's about it.
Yeah, like we have millings, so if we mix it with millings.
I'm not sure you want to do that if you want a good base, because the millings are really gonna tie together.
Yeah, they
You put that silt in between it, and there's really nothing gonna be to tie. You're gonna end up with gravel red. And I'm not sure that's what you want if you're gonna use millings.
How about down by the old Burrow shed? That lot down there.
Is that?
That's nowhere near big enough.
And I think it's in a floodplain.
Correct.
Didn't we have an issue down there? Because that was talked about when we did before.
Correct. You're right.
Now, I think there's some potential sites out of town that we could take a look at. I know some people that may be interested in it. But I think we want to try to take it to one place because it's easier to spell out in the bid.
If you have some people in mind, Kevin, why don't, if you would come back next
Okay.
month, and then let's, because this is gonna be important, let's see if we can find a site.
Okay.
I realize this is a very preliminary report, but that's a good point that you bring up, so.
Yeah, so my plan would be to come at the next meeting, at least close enough to get an authorization to go to bid. You know, we'll get Mark all the documents, you know, at that meeting, he can take a look at it. If everything's fine, then maybe we can get it advertised. That way we have the summer. Because you're gonna want, 6 good dry weeks where we're not flooding the debris basin out, to try to do the work. So. Okay.
Could you, how much did we take out? Did you say 8,000?
We took exactly, let me add the two numbers together. We took 10,728.
And do you have an estimate with your aerial?
We
how much is it?
haven't done the estimate yet.
Okay.
That's what we're hoping to do here, probably within the next week.
It seems like there's a lot more in there now than back, but maybe I'm.
It's hard to
maybe it's
judge
those
because
trees.
there was so many trees on it when we did it before. It was really hard to guess what last time to this time.
There's a whole trees in there now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been up and it's been 3 weeks. It's pretty rough.
Well, if that's it then for tonight.
Yeah,
Any questions of Kevin? Then you'll be back in May.
yes.
And
What I'd like to get would be a copy of the grant.
Patty, you have that, I'm sure.
I think so.
Well, I guess the original grant that was submitted for the lower section, and I'm guessing they just sent you a letter.
Yeah, we have correspondence. Patty should have all that.
Yeah, we'll need a copy of both of those.
We'll get that emailed to you soon.
Okay. And Mark, I'd assume the permit wise we're good,
Yeah.
because we went through this headache.
Correct.
Okay,
So that looks like it'll be May 12th
okay,
is our next meeting,
okay,
6 PM.
okay, good.
Thank you, Kevin. So you're pretty optimistic then we'll be able to do it this summer?
It would really depend on the weather. Again, if we know that we have major storms coming, it's gonna be an issue. When we did it, we had a really dry summer. We had 6 good weeks where they could push the dirt, let it dry out a little bit, then haul it out, kind of rinse and repeat, so to speak. If we have a wet summer, it could be an issue. So we just kind of have to play it weather dependent.
Any other questions? Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, have a good evening.
Ed, PMCA, welcome.
Good evening. You're used to me talking, but tonight I have 2 guests with me from the main office. Tim Spittler, right behind my right.
Hello.
He's the new BCO. He took over for Clem. And on my left is Justin Steinbugle, our account exec. And what they would like to do is talk to you about what PMCA has to offer and give an overview of our services and what we've done for you. So I'm going to step away and I'm going to let them gentlemen have the floor.
Yeah, thanks, council, for having us tonight. I put together, just won't go through it tonight, but just as a leave behind for you all, just some updates and some numbers over the last year and a half, just to show you from the UCC side what inspections have been completed, what building development's taking place. More than that, we just wanted to give you a couple updates on our team in the county, so in our Somerset office, because we've had some really great additions to the team. Share a couple new things we are providing as just a value add to our municipal partners. So we now have technology that allows us to do most of the permitting process online. Makes it seamless for your residents, but it's also something we can give you all access to, so you have full visibility in everything going on. So if you see something happening in town, you're like, hey, did someone get a building inspection or a permit on that? You can just type it in like Google and see what's going on, see how Buck resulted the inspection. So it gives you full transparency into what's going on in your community, which makes a lot of sense, because ultimately we're an extension of the municipality as the building code official and supporting UCC. But I'll jump back a little bit. Over the last year, we've seen steady UCC building permits happening. So we had 10 permits, I think from April to April, or April to today. And there were just around, I think, the mid-40s for inspections on those, predominantly residential, as I'm sure you know what's going on in your community, with one being commercial. One of the big things that Kim and I wanted to come and talk about today was our team in the Somerset office here. We're not naive or blind to the fact that we were down a few for a while there, and it might have impacted our service for a month or two there. So we apologize for that, but wanted to let you know that we've added 2 really great additions to our team. So Eric, he's Ed's counterpart and maybe protege on the enforcement and zoning side. So Eric came to the community. His wife grew up here. He was from Kansas. She wanted to move back home. So he's worked for FEMA. He's worked for the state of Kansas. He was actually an elected official at one point, so he understands, what you all face on a day-to-day. So we're really excited to get Eric on. And then Chloe. So Chloe is our new permit tech, office secretary in the front. She's local as well. So, she comes from medical background. So she's worked in doctor's offices. So, she has great customer service. She's organized. We're very excited that, she's joined the team, and the feedback so far from permit applicants has been that, she treated them with positivity and made the process easier. So just wanted to call that to attention. And then the other thing, we know that the county is looking to support municipalities, and wanted to provide some insight or things we do with other municipalities across South Central Pennsylvania that might make sense for you all, and then provide clarity on how our billing works. So, if it's something zoning today, or if it's ordinance enforcement, that's going to be something we would charge the municipality an hourly rate for. But with that, anything that comes through, someone didn't pull a permit, things related to Uniform Construction Code, we will bill ultimately that permit applicant for those fees. So you as a municipality aren't absorbing something because they didn't follow the process, right? So just wanted to provide that differentiator. And then I mentioned, what other municipalities are doing. So we found, and this isn't just in Somerset County, Bedford and Huntington, that a lot of boroughs and townships haven't updated their permit fees, and we saw some from 1992. So Something to consider that if you're charging $35 right now for, I'll call it the land use part of the permit where Ed goes and make sure that, everything's good to move into the building phase. We're seeing most municipalities change that from the 30s to about 70 or 75 with one of your southern neighbors here doing 150. So, I mean, it's kind of, where your comfort is. And then beyond that, something we do in all of Bedford County is on the building permit side. So we're collecting fees on those plan reviews and inspections, right? Our municipalities in Bedford receive a 10% fee based on that. So there's a revenue stream that would come back to you all, which helps offset any costs that Ed's incurring for ordinance enforcement or for the zoning process. And it also creates, it adds to your general fund as well, because it is development happening in your municipality. So, that's not an us decision. Of course, that's one of, the council. So if that was something you wanted us to implement into our process, we would, be more than happy to do that. And it's fairly quick.
Then you would get a monthly check from us. We would cut you a monthly check back to your borough. My accountant out of the office, her name is Jody, would handle all that for you.
I know I just pretty much word vomited through a lot out there, so wanted to see if there were any questions or feedback that, we could answer while we're here today.
I would just say from the get-go, I mean, I've worked with Ed for a number of years and we've always had a good relationship. You said your services were lax. I didn't notice anything at all. I'm not sure what you're referring to, maybe when
We didn't have great office hours at one time, but we still ran it all through our main office out of Chambersburg. If somebody's not in the office and doesn't catch a phone call, or if she's busy, it bumps right to our other office. So they're always answered. We just didn't have somebody that could work the counter there for about a month, but we take care of that.
I didn't. Did anybody notice that problem? But like I said, Ed was, the situation, like you said, the county's coming up with another system. We would have to have two individuals, one for billing, one for zoning, and one for enforcement. Is that the way it was? So, I mean, I don't know that we've really thought about this or discussed it at all. I have no idea what council, would be interested in doing. I mean, I've been satisfied. Ed has been right on, spot on. We've had a good working relationship, and before him, Clem, going back. So I just don't know. We really haven't even considered it. Somerset group was here, I think, last month. Now you're here, but I just don't, we haven't even discussed.
Yeah.
Karen has a question.
Oh, are we back to next day, like 24-hour inspections? Like if I call an inspection in at 4 o'clock tomorrow?
If you call it in before 3 o'clock, it is always the next day. I don't know of any time when it wouldn't have been next day. Unless you heard something that came up where somebody said no, what kind of inspection it was. But if it's in by 3 o'clock, we do it the next day. And if something came up on that and you heard something, please bring that to my attention and I'll look into it, because our rule is 3 o'clock, and half the time we get them at 3:10, 3:15, and we still run them the next day. And the only way it could be is if one of the inspectors were out sick and we were running behind. That's possible, but usually if you call in by 3 o'clock, it will be ran the next day.
So Chloe's the person who's been answering the phone
Yep.
as well. Yeah, she seems like she's really organized.
Yep, she is. She has kind of taken ownership of that office, just like it's her own. And what I like is she's very local. She's always got a plan of what's going on, and she's learning and taking a hold of it quite well.
And Ed, not to toot his horn too much, but did an excellent job with the testimony on that house the other day in court. I think Eric is at the gentleman who's along with you, so he seemed like a very organized person.
Yeah, we know we're lucky to have Ed, for sure.
I mean, it would be something that we, council, would have to ultimately make the decision. I haven't heard any interest in changing at this point. It would have to go on our agenda, and then we would have to have a public discussion if there would be any change that was warranted. I mean, it's kind of, we're in the middle here, but ultimately we have to make a decision. But all I can say is, if Ed's going to stay here, I mean, is that right, Ed? You're going to be part of the team there in Somerset County. I mean, I have another year yet to go in 9 months. Been very comfortable with working with Ed. So I will tell you that much, but I'm only one vote.
Yep.
And I would probably say if council wants to have an open discussion on it, then we have to do that. If not, unless you hear from us, this is gonna continue on.
Okay.
Am I speaking out of tune, anybody? Anybody have any? So, any questions here? Thank you for
Are
coming.
you familiar with what Somerset County's doing? I wasn't
We've
here.
heard
This was
bits
last
and
meeting
pieces
they
of
talked
it.
about it.
We are, we know, it's definitely not our place to speak on what they're doing or their process, but, yeah,
Compared to them.
we're a third party. I think they're working with third parties as well to support how they're doing it.
But not you guys.
But not us, no. And not, I guess the other reason we came today was really to talk about the revenue for the fees, right? So that is something that I can send you examples from neighboring communities on what they're doing, what that looks like, how it impacts your budget in a positive way, just so you have an idea. But I wanted to,
I appreciate that. My concern is the revenues, yes, but the service. And like I say, we've had a good track record, so it's gonna be,
Yeah.
I don't wanna say one thing or another here, but if there's no other questions, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I don't know of any huge groundswell to change, but we'll just have to see what moves forward.
Yeah, we appreciate your time this evening. Thank you.
Any other comments on this from council?
Thank you.
Don't feel you have to stay for the whole meeting. I know you can hardly wait to hear the rest of it, but
We do a lot of
But we're gonna probably sit around
evening
and let-
meetings together.
no, you guys go ahead. There's no, well, you're welcome to stay. It's a public meeting, but thank you very
We
much.
appreciate your time.
Okay, guys. Terry, would you like to give your report now under public comment, or do you want to? And then you can stay, come up here. You're here going to give us a report for the library. And then if you want to stay for the whole meeting, I'm less nervous if there's nobody in the audience. So if you go, it'll just be Dan. I'm kidding you.
Well, first of all, the library would like to express its gratitude to the council for the funding we receive each year, having received it this year again. And we very much appreciate that, and also appreciate the support we receive from the community for our fundraisers like the hoagie sale and Death by Chocolate. And there's a lot going on at the library. It was kind of quiet over the winter because it's hard to schedule anything because things get snowed out. But we had a program Saturday for families. We're family oriented about, it was bees, butterflies, and blooms, and it was about native plants and pollinators. We had a master gardener present, and there were lots of giveaways, both provided through a grant from IU8, and also our master gardener brought some items that people could take home. So that was fair, for a small library. I felt it was well attended. We are planning a series of programs honoring America's 250th birthday. There'll be programs all through the year. The next one will be May 13th, Ghosts of Shaw Mines. And Clyde Housel, who wrote that book, is going to do a presentation. And he's kind enough, he's going to sell books and give the proceeds to the library. And that's going to be actually held at Zion Lutheran Church. As you know, we're kind of space challenged, and it sounds like this is going to be popular, given the popularity of the book. It's never on the shelf, it's always out. So I hope some of you can attend that. I think it will be very interesting.
You know, one of his relatives brought that book out to the office. And she said we could have it, read it, and then if we would just let it in the waiting room. And I would say at least a dozen or more people looked at it. We told them, go on Amazon, showed them, so I hope the book I'd urge everybody to read that book, The Ghosts of Shaw Mines. And the ghost is not like, it's
No, it's not like-
memories. It's like the memories of Shaw Mine.
Yeah, it's
But
it's a memoir.
if you haven't read it, do it. You're Shaw Mines.
Yeah, right, come to the dentist's office.
Yeah.
Get your teeth pulled and read a book.
I'm sorry.
That's
Sarah,
fine,
continue.
but yeah, it's a good point, because you hear that title and you might think it's spooky. It's not, it's memories. It's the echoes of the past, as people remember. Our story hours going well every week. We didn't have a Good Friday, but just about every week. We're planning our summer programs. We're gonna have a STEAM camp in June, teaching video game creation. The STEAM team from the county library system is going to come present. And the theme this summer is a digging it up theme, archaeology, dinosaurs. Kids love dinosaurs. So we have a busy year planned, and I hope people will take advantage of what we're offering. And of course, the books keep going in and off the shelves, and I think it's going to be a very good year. And I think people are aware that we're looking at purchasing property. And all I can say is we're trying to address space concerns because we're bursting at the seams. Exactly how that's going to play out, we do not yet know. There has to be a lot of planning and it's going to take time. But we hope that it will ultimately be a positive development for everyone. So thank you again.
Is there any update on the old hospital?
It's going to come down.
Yeah.
It is
Doug
going
got the bid and the Friends of the Library, we paid for the permit. And so the price might go up a little bit because of diesel costs adding to the hauling,
Yeah.
but soon.
Mhm. By the end of the month, they're talking about.
Yeah.
They do want to salvage a few pieces of the building for the historical record. So we'll see, but it's an exciting time.
The book, 150 Years in Meyersdale,
Yeah,
that, we have a copy out there also in our waiting room. And how many copies do you have left? Is it sold out? I know
it's
people
not,
ask us all the time, where can you get this? And it's $25.
it's $25 at the
At the
library.
library, so, but you're not sold out
We're
yet.
not sold out. We've sold a lot of them, but there's still some left.
Okay, any other questions for Terry? So now you can get out early or you can stay here, whatever you want to
I'll
do.
stay for a while, but then I think I'll go home.
Go home and watch it on television.
Yeah. Well, my family might want to eat.
I have two other public comments if I can. I'm really excited. We have two buildings that were recently sold in the business district. We have True Value coming with an a la carte store. They're coming for the second visit here soon. They're 16 to 20 weeks out to getting the store set up. But they're gonna, since it's an a la carte store, they're gonna try to get it sooner. And then there's a bike and licensing shop going next door to it. They're hoping to be open by the end of June or July. So if you take a ride through downtown, you can see two of our storefronts are getting remodeled and looking much better and exciting here with the Maple Festival coming up. So I'm really excited to see about two new businesses coming.
Was there another item?
Those were the two.
Okay. Public comment continues. Connor, public comment? Dan, public comment? Public comment is now over. President's report, I have none except to read a thank you note here from the Garden Club. Meyersdale Borough, thank you for funding our project for the new flower planters. We truly appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much. Connie Anderson, Glenda Schultz, Helen Miller, Jane Schultz, Jody Saylor, Valerie C. King, and Linda Ringler. So these ladies do a wonderful job with the baskets, and we're looking forward to seeing them this year. That's my report. Mr. Mayor, he's working, he's away from here, so there's no mayor's report per se. We had the junior council report, emergency management, Kevin's not here. Solicitor report, Mark promised me he would be brief.
Yeah,
What did you promise?
I didn't really promise you, but I may have alluded, without a promise. I need to discuss my items in executive session, not only the High Street Bridge, but also the 221 Salisbury Street. And there's one other area that slips my mind at the moment that I need to do in that section. I want to discuss.
Are we doing that tonight, executive session?
Yes.
Okay.
It shouldn't be long. I'll try to be effective.
Okay. So that's it?
Yes,
Oh.
I had a couple questions.
go ahead.
So the Salisbury Street, I know we're gonna open the bids. Has there been any appeals to date?
No.
Okay. So barring any appeals, we get it torn down, say over the next month or so, then we're gonna put it out to bid.
Correct.
Former church on Clay Street, it's to close still by the end of April, you think?
Yes. And my understanding is, the person who's buying it has already talked to PMCA about getting the demolition permit to demolish. So I don't think there's anything savable with it.
That's all I have.
Okay, committee reports. Anybody here from the municipal authority? Street foreman Brian.
Were we gonna talk about, Broadway Street?
That's the other one I want to talk about in
Oh,
executive session.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for saying that, because I forgot what it
Okay.
was.
Brian?
Sweeper was in, Donegal sweeping was in, they got all the streets, I think the streets look pretty good. They got the side light in, Leroy came, got the side light in, so that should be pretty bright. Got the other light in. There's one thing I do want to ask, down at our shop, as you come down through the parking lot at from our parking lot over to the parking lot where the JP is, there's a section of grass that's in there. The police park in there all the time. Can we just make that parking lot from their parking lot down to ours? I mean, can we just turn that into, it's not a big piece of grass, it's rough, can we just make that a parking lot and call it good?
If that's your recommendation.
Shale parking lot type of thing.
Yeah, just shale it to
Yeah.
match ours.
It's far less than an acre, so that you wouldn't have.
Well,
to permit.
it's only a section,
No, I know, it's a small.
just a
area.
real small area, so it would be much easier. They park in there, it's all muddied up now, so why not just shale it and let them park there? As long as everybody's okay with it.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty well all I have.
I had a couple. So the handicap sign at the post office, did we get that done?
No.
We were gonna do at least the arrows and the crosswalks and some of that,
That's getting done before the festival,
which is this weekend.
yes.
Okay. The flagpole out here repair. Did we do anything with that?
That's on the fire department. I talked to them, they didn't come over yet. So we're just waiting. They have everything, the rope, they have all that stuff. So we're just waiting for that.
I have another question. So the mini split, we talked about putting in the pavilion down there, but that is such a tight room. I wonder, do you have, so we pay a gas bill for down there. I need to walk through that building. I'll try to get down there this week. I've never been inside your shop. Is there like a room where you guys have an office that, I don't know how much we heat down there, but I see the gas bills. And I'm just wondering, is it a good idea? Is there a roomed off area? Could we put a roomed off area down there so we could heat like where you want to sit and do your reports and those things?
we
And
have
put the
that.
mini split down there?
We have that now, but it really wouldn't benefit putting a mini split down there for us. I mean, it wouldn't do us any good. We have heat. Summertime, we're not in there most of, we're not in there
Okay.
using ACs.
Okay. Oh, the other thing, since Shane's out of town, we'll need to block the streets for parked cars for the car shows both Sundays and then for the Maple Festival Parade, so we don't have like panic getting cars moved the day of the parade, which you always do.
Always on it. Already talked to somebody today about it.
Then my last question was, when the governor says there's been a death, like the horrible one with the 2 firemen on the ATVs, and across the state, all municipalities are supposed to fly flags at half-staff. Do we do that?
I would say we have already. It's more or less a willy-nilly type thing. We don't have the flagpole. There's no flag here at this point. I know we've already taken them down at the playground, half-staff, and here also.
But we have the one at the gazebo.
But we didn't, but then you did take it down. Or
This
you did
last
not?
time, no, I did not.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a mandatory, it was if you were willing to participate.
See, I didn't see the firemen over there take theirs.
Yeah, the one at the monument wasn't down.
Okay. I just didn't know how we handled that.
I know one quick question. Who has a key for the monument flagpole?
That, the last time I remember was, I think it was Bob Caden. But don't quote me on that. But we do not have a key to that flagpole.
They need to get a weight to hook onto that internal halyard design to keep the flag from flying out so far. It's a simple fix. I may even have an extra weight at my house. But I don't know who changes it, but was that flag lowered at half-staff?
I can find out for you tomorrow. if you
Somebody
want.
was down there today in a white truck replacing 2 flags, a big flag and I think a 250th anniversary flag.
On the pole?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice it like that.
Yeah, it was about 4 o'clock.
You say Barry Yoder?
Yeah, I think they might have been doing the fountain.
Okay.
See, I know the Lions Club used to have a key because they took care of the whole monument. Tracy Carly used to mow it.
Yeah, we know now.
Okay, well, let's, instead of getting sidetracked here, we'll keep moving if we can. The Merchants Association, Brian's not here. If he comes in, we'll certainly hear his report. The public libraries.
I can give a little bit of that because I'm on the board.
Please, come back up.
It's just going to be, what I can think of. It's not like what he planned, but, farmer's market, there's been some concern about whether we're going to have enough vendors. Today, an important one signed on, so hopefully that will be, progress. And also, we're looking at the billboard, the Welcome to Meyersdale, that's moving along.
And
Thank
then
you.
your meeting tomorrow night.
And yes, and the merchants, general meeting that's open to the public is tomorrow night at 6 at the Elks.
Thank you, Terry. The community events. Clarence?
From Jeff there, everything went well with East Ray Hunts and good turnout. They got everything done. They thought they would have to hurry because of the tent they had to set up for that funeral that day. But he said everything went well with that stuff. I guess the next event coming up is the Mother's Day. They talked about it, but I don't know how far they want to go with it, so.
And you have to leave at 7.
7.
Okay. Anything else, community events?
That's about it.
Okay, council member standing committees, police, public safety.
We want to table this discussion about switching the janitor storage area with the police department until the mayor's back.
Actually, I have a comment to make on that. I spoke to the mayor before the meeting this evening via text back and forth. Shane, as myself, are absolutely, and I think a number of people around the table are absolutely opposed to moving this police station out of the building. So I'm going to ask for a motion. Shane's opposed to it. I'm opposed to it, that we take this off the agenda during this council. And what the next council does with it, that's fine. The reason that switching, Brian, you can speak up to this too. The reason that switching the station from where it is now to the daycare center, I believe was brought up as an alternative
Yes.
to moving out of the building. But
Yes.
I don't think, Karen, there's much support with moving the police station and building a new facility down there. So whether we just want to drop it, or if I'll ask for a motion that we just take this off the agenda, and if future councils want to deal with it, then that's fine.
So if you just, from the point, Karen did make, I think she made a motion to table that for now, so that portion, the switching from one location to another would be tabled. But the other part's a whole different issue with moving it out of the building. Yeah.
Okay, then is there a second for Karen's motion?
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay, all those in favor of tabling that, say aye. Opposed? I'm opposed to that. Now, could we have a motion then to take the item of moving the police station out of this building off the agenda? Is there a motion to do that?
I make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I don't see it on the agenda.
Down here.
It's at the very end.
Location. Mayor's not
Oh, the other
even-
Yeah, I'll second that. I don't see any need for it at this time.
Downstairs.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All those in favor of removing that portion from the agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Anybody opposed? Unanimous. Patty, remove it from the agenda. And as far as moving it to the other place, I don't care. We can keep that and discuss it later. Anything else, police? Karen is a chairperson. Shane's not here. Personnel?
Oh, nothing. They're all happy and want to give us money back, I think.
Finance? We did that already. Refuse, are we going to discuss that about the letter you sent,
Yes.
Mark?
So I did email out the letter, 2 letters. The one is from Noble, showing that they did raise the landfill rate. The 2 increases that Harbaugh is asking for, it's actually, I guess, 3 altogether, but it's 2 basically, is 1, increasing the overall cost per month from $16,213.74 to the $18,535.77. That is due to the increase in tipping fee. In our contract, we also allow for a surcharge on fuel when it goes to certain price increments. The diesel fuel that they're using now is hanging around $6 a gallon, which is well over the surcharge. And quite frankly, they have been over that surcharge amount for probably, I think it's either 7 or 8 months, and haven't asked for that increase. So, but that would be a change from pickup, meaning per household. That'd be the difference of $1 to $1.50. Total average surcharge to the borough, from a resident standpoint, would go from, how that makes sense in the calculation, but they said between $825 to $850 per month.
I think we have to approve this based on the contract we have with them. My only question, go ahead, Mark, sorry.
You're contractually obligated, which means you can still vote against it, but you're contractually already agreed to it. The big question is gonna be, and I know Patty has done this in the past, which is separate from, you have the one to approve the 2 surcharges requesting. The other question is, and Patty's figured this out for us in the past, if the borough is going to foot that cost as part of the fees, or if you're going to pass that along to the consumer.
Well, my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, the last time it was raised, I'm not sure, we did not increase the fees. I think we need to watch our pennies here. I would be in favor of figuring it out and increasing. If we have to pay Harbaugh more, then I think we should raise the fees. And I pay 2 bills, so I'm
In a year's
not-
time, that's $28,464.
say, I'm sorry.
In a year's time, that's $28,600, or $464.
Now, is that with both surcharges?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he
Not for
mentioned,
this year, but next year, it would start, this year, I think it starts from April to December.
April 1st, I thought. That was in the letter. I mean, that's just my opinion. Let's discuss it, then we'll have a motion. What we want to do a roll call
You want
vote?
to do two separate motions?
Yes, of course.
At least two. One should be, whether or not you're going to approve the two surcharges. And then the other motion would deal with how you're going to handle paying for it.
And Mark, you're confident that the surcharges are legitimate?
Yes. Yeah, they met what they have to do contractually to show that.
Well, let's have go ahead, Clarence.
did he tell you that, when the fuel comes down, them surcharges would drop also?
That is how our contract works. Yeah.
Do we know, like, if an average residential bill is like 45.60 or whatever it is a quarter, how much we would have to raise it to?
No, I didn't know what I.
Yeah, what I would suggest tonight, Patty has done that math in the past. I would suggest that we go ahead and approve it contractually now, and then maybe Patty at our next meeting can bring back the same data that you've done in the past.
Yeah.
And show us that way you guys know exactly what you're voting on in that portion.
I think that's a good suggestion our
I
solicitor
make that
has.
motion.
Thank you, Karen and Tom. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Unanimous. And then, do we need a motion to ask Patty to go ahead and prepare that report?
No, sir.
Okay.
We asked last month about the refuse being able to do online billing. Where are we with that?
No sense going over all of this because they told me that the only way they can do payments is through credit cards. And there is a 3.5% minimum
See you,
fee
Clarence.
on anybody that does a credit card payment with a minimum of $2.95 per transaction. And if there is, there's a $30 a month fee charged to the borough if the payment processing totals are under $5,000 a month. So there could be times when your transactions will not be $5,000 a month. So the borough pays $30 a month. So I don't know how many people would want to pay it on their credit card and then have additional fees charged to them.
So how does the MMA do it? Because they do online billing and people love it.
Yeah, the MMA does that through Unilink. And it takes ACH and debit credit card and ACH. They add the fees to the consumer on that. And it, I think, is 3 or 3.5%. It has the same. The only difference with it is, unlike my merchant account, is exactly like how you described that with the minimum amount of transaction per month. For some reason, and maybe it's the volume that Unilink does, they don't have that minimum transaction amount, but a lot of merchant accounts do. The only other question I would ask, having done those, that's the basic, like the charging system, like to take the payments. But do we have to, I'm not sure if that's something we could actually add to our website or we'd have to get a separate service. You know what I mean? Like there might be additional cost to that.
What company is that?
This is El Dorado.
Okay.
We've had it for, oh God, probably 25 years.
Because I know I paid a water bill out there and she told me don't go through this DOEX or something like that.
Yeah, the DOEX is a third party that redirects payments through it. And then it charges a larger amount. And we've had continuous issues with those payments not coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a late thing. I was like,
Yeah. But this, you say you've dealt with this El Dorado bunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Myself, I say we just stay like we are. We don't need this online. I know I'm not gonna pay online. Either they'll accept my money or take my water off, whatever they wanna do. But I say, just leave it like it is. She's not gonna be here for another year or two. After that, let the new girls jump in and run with it.
well, it's kind of nice to pay your bills.
Not me.
Well, I kind of agree with Ron. We had this website, which I guess it's working okay. I don't know. Do many people visit our website?
Definitely.
And, which is fine, But then we started, order. We started this website and then Patty got stuck and needed help. For 3 months, she asked for help. Nobody was there to help her. Finally, thanks to Dan and his friend Sean, we said, hey, could you please help us? And so I had to get involved and help Patty through these guys to get the website going. So if it's gonna be the same thing here with this system, I'm not computer savvy. I don't think Patty is. So like Ron said, there's gonna be a change in the fortune here before too long. And I kind of agree with Ron, let's let it ride. And then the new group can do whatever they want. But that's my opinion on it too.
Typically, those systems, Patty would have to set it up or to put it on the site. And how they are set up securely is it would automatically deposit into the account. And then they would give you a report. I don't know how our audit does it, but some do it weekly, some do it daily, and some just do it monthly.
But that's what we had with the website. And then she couldn't get help from the website.
No, but what I'm saying is the online payment portion, I've never dealt with Elder on that. But the other groups I've dealt with, it is like you have zero involvement in it besides seeing the report. I know the one well, the two different ones the authorities have, we haven't had to do anything with. You just get the payment report that shows you who paid, when they paid, and that's it.
Well, you know what, let's either leave it on the agenda, we can let everybody think about it for a month and revisit it, or we can just, as a motion to
We can table.
not do it, or,
You just have a motion to table.
I make a motion to table it.
but I thought Ron was, did you make a motion not to do it?
Not
Before
right,
that.
not to do it.
See, he had a motion first.
Should he abstain altogether?
Well, it doesn't directly involve like payment or anything that the Patty's issue.
No, I should not abstain.
Well, why don't we just, was it I don't know, I thought you said, did you actually say you made a motion or not? We'd have to.
Ron, can you restate your motion, please?
That we leave everything just the way it is. We don't go online. I'm not paying mine online.
So your motion is to either drop it here.
Just leave it as it is, you pay it.
Leave it as it is. She doesn't have a problem with it. The people, I'm sure, doesn't bother them.
Is there a second?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are there many members of the community asking for this?
I didn't hear anybody.
Yeah, no, I have. And Mark, isn't it highly used
Oh,
at
yeah.
the municipal authority?
Yeah,
I mean, our citizens are using it.
it's a
on
fairly
this.
high percentage.
Okay, is there a second? If not, then, okay, there's no second for Ron's motion. Is there any other motions? Karen, did you want to make a
I make a
motion?
motion that we think about it some more, get some more information and keep it on the agenda.
So you're tabling it.
Is there a second for that motion?
Stay on the agenda.
Stay on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay,
I think we should look into it just a little bit more, just to.
Bob seconds that motion. All those in favor of leaving it on the agenda and moving forward, or getting more information, I guess, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Okay, let's, you know what, so, Patty, let's do a roll call vote on that, because some people didn't, vote.
I don't even see it on the agenda. Where is it saying about?
Well, she just brought it up as, it's not on the agenda technically, so we'd have to amend it. You're right, Tom.
It's null and void then. Discuss.
Well, isn't that covered
Well,
under reference?
we would have to amend the agenda to do this, but there's a motion and a second, so go ahead and do the roll call. If you vote yes, you're in favor of leaving it alive, leaving it on the agenda and discuss it next month. If you vote no, we end it tonight. That's a yes/no vote. So the roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Ackerman,
No,
Mr. Bear is absent, Mr. Christner's absent, Mrs. Nagy,
Yes.
Mr. Irwin,
No.
Mr. Munyon,
Yes.
2 to 2.
And Tom.
Tom, sorry, Tom.
I don't even know what it's about.
Online billing.
No, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, the motion fails and we're gonna take that off the agenda. It won't be discussed next
Not even on the agenda.
month. Well, but like I say, there's a lot of things that they bring up that aren't. Okay, moving on now, streets and buildings. One thing I'll say first with the streets and buildings, the light out here has been installed by our buddy, Leroy. Let's what all Leroy did, let's give a quick report on that. He did the light out here, so we won't fall going out, hopefully, Dan. What else?
And he put the new lamp post up above the tracks so far.
There are a number of the lights that are out in the ball field, especially those dusk to dawn things. He was going to check that, fix those for us. He was gonna check down at the monument to be sure that supposedly it was the flagpole lights working, one of them, but is there a light on the Doughboy? He's gonna check that. So any other thing that Leroy sees, we've kind of given him, as has been in the past, carte blanche to go ahead and get these light bulbs replaced.
Jeff
So-
did bring, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, no.
No, since Jeff's not here, I'll bring it up. Down at the concession stand, he was down there today. He wanted to know if the lights could be switched out from what they are to what this is out here. The lights down there have been broken. We had to take the bulbs out, kids break them. These are more of like a sealed unit. So Jeff.
Those LEDs down here.
No, well, they are, but they're garbage. They're the screw-in bulb.
Okay.
The lamp shade's busted. We can't keep bulbs in it because kids keep knocking them out. This is a sealed unit. So Jeff's thoughts were to put maybe 2 down there, replace the 2 with 2 like this.
Can we ask Leroy to do that?
I can.
Is that okay with everybody? I would say it's part of maintenance.
How much are those like, you know?
I'm not sure. I don't know if Patty got a bill from him yet or not, but I can call tomorrow and ask him.
The other thing, and I don't know how much this all costs, we'll have to make sure he doesn't go over if he goes over the phone quote limit, which off the top of my head, I'm thinking is 14, but I have to double check that because it increases each year. Then we would have to trigger, I don't know.
It runs in my mind that he told me last year that he was gonna do this light out here with the price of the one for Main Street, this, not even charged for doing.
Understood.
And I can't imagine, all we're doing is replacing bulbs, except this would be different.
Yeah, this
I
would
just
be
can't
a
imagine
new
seeing
setup.
Wouldn't be
I'm
that
just
expensive.
putting that out there.
Well, your
When
point
you-
was
when
well
you-
taken.
Because now remember, that's aggregate for the year, everything he does.
Oh, yes,
aggregate.
of course. I'm aware of that. Okay, streets and buildings, a paving project. Is there anything to discuss there? April
Brian.
22nd? Go ahead, Ron.
Brian and I went around, checked streets that really needed paved. And Ben Dishon will be in on the 22nd to check out the streets that we picked and give us a price on what it'll cost.
From PennDOT, you said.
Yes.
Anything else on that? Okay, it's my sad duty to report, we do not have any bids for the ADA family restroom gym door update, council room
So,
door. Go ahead, Mark and I had the discussion on this before the meeting.
correct me if I'm wrong, Patty, the DAR Construction is the only vendor that picked up a packet. We did get that bid out, fairly well, but I think what the issue is, and this is just my own recollection, we wanted to have that done sooner. And I do know for a fact that DAR, and there's several other contractors that normally would bid on that, have some larger projects in the area, I think, that are taking their focus. So we need to rebid it because it's a project that you want to do. I would suggest that we would expand, the length of time for completion.
Yes.
My question is, since we're delayed again, and Steve Spokart's grant opportunity is back open again, you know, do we want to invite him back next month and see if he's willing to submit a bid and a grant for us in the fall to try to get some grant money to pay for this?
Well, my understanding of the situation is certain townspeople, individuals were here and that we were trying to move this ahead as rapidly as possible, which we're doing. But like Mark had suggested, maybe if we rebid it, but put a longer time frame, like maybe say to give them to what, November 1st? Or what do you think, Mark, as far as the time frame goes, and just try to
I mean,
rebid
we're gonna
it?
miss the festival no matter what, because it's this week. And I know that we have a fair amount of volume in the summer, but I'd have to think that the largest volume is around the festival.
I mean, would it be inappropriate, obviously, there's no bids, to talk to Jason and find out what the problem was, why they chose not to bid on this job? I mean, is that inappropriate at this point?
You just have to watch how much of a conversation that you have. I think if a conversation would occur, I would ask him specifically if, you know, the time frame was the issue, because you don't want to get into anything outside of that, because then you.
Well, could you do that for us?
Yeah, I could
Just
do
to
that.
find out what the issue was, and then we could move forward. And I mean, I think everybody's excited. I just hate to stall it, Karen, and wait for a bid in the fall when the impetus has been to push
I
this.
wish a year ago we would have gone after grant money. We had Steve here and him engaged, so we just missed the deadlines.
Yeah. So, is there anything else on that
We need a
issue?
motion to rebid it, and then
Thank you, Mark.
inside of that motion, when you want the completion date to be.
Well, I thought, did you want to, do we want to wait and see what you find out with your conversation before we rebid it and put a date on it? If I thought that was the point, you were going to contact them.
Yeah, I mean,
and find out what.
I think we need to have some general directive though, like, you know, you guys need to have in mind when you want it done by. And then that'll be the guide, because if I get feedback that says, hey, you know, this window was 120 days and it meets what the council would like, then I have good, you know, guidelines to do it within.
Is that where it's at now, 120 days?
No, we set it, I think, at 60 days. That's off the top of my head.
Who did that?
I did. Well, we wanted it done sooner than later. And you guys said that I brought up dates, and only one council member gave me dates. I mean, I'm just saying.
If we rebid it and we would give them 120, 150 days, you think that would be worth a try?
120 days would be what, September?
That'd be 4 months. 150 would be 5 months. That'd take us to the fall. I mean, maybe this would be a project people would want to do in the fall or winter as opposed to right now in the summer. You know,
I mean, Karen and Bob, both are saying like 6 months, get to the end of the year. I mean, that would be reasonable, because then you would probably greatly expand the pool of people willing to do it.
motion? Bob, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion that we, hand out that bid for 6 months.
We rebid it and make it a 6 months time frame. Okay, Roland seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. Now we'll open these bids for the tear down at 221 Salisbury Street. Let's see what order we received them. And I'm having
The
trouble.
little envelope was last.
Okay.
The yellow one was first.
Right, okay.
There's an opening there somewhere.
Yeah, I'll use it maybe for I'm not an engineer.
Everybody got it.
Okay, this bid comes to us from Chippewa Landscaping and Excavation, 2766 New Centerville Road, Rockwood, Pennsylvania, $13,500. This is remove and dispose of the building located at 221 Salisbury Street. So he has a copy of insurance, I believe. Go ahead, Mr. Solicitor, you can take a look at it. And then was this the next one, Pat? Okay, this comes from Earth Movers Unlimited Incorporated, PO Box 187, Kylertown, Pennsylvania. And okay, he has two bids in here. The first bid would be just for the building would be $14,743. That's just for the building. And then he was actually up here and visited the site. But then for demolition, removal, and legal disposal of the residence and 3 sheds, it was an extra $15,734, an extra $1,000 to get rid of the sheds. Now this bid, or the sheds aren't mentioned on there. So I don't know what, but he's lower anyway. And then the final bid comes from, is it Lecky's Demolition Service, 440 Don Ruth Lane, Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
He's the one that tore down the other house on South Street. He does a nice job.
Okay, copy of the insurance is in here, certificate of liability. Statement together. And his bid, this is take down 2-story single family home at 221 Salisbury Street and fill in the basement and cap the sewer line. Put down seed and mulch, $14,900. So those are your 3 bids.
How much was the first one?
13.5.
Yep.
Now that first one, is that the same guy that tore down Colonial?
No, that outfit, I don't even know if they're in business.
Is there a time limit on this too?
Or Earth Movers, I thought we had Earth Movers do some work for us. Didn't they tear down the Colonial? Or else,
No, the group that tore down the Colonial was Collinsville.
Yeah, that
or else, what about the Jenkins building?
Rittenhour.
Earth Movers, didn't they do the Jenkins one down on Grant Street?
Maybe.
No,
No.
Well, the
Mike
one
Garland's
we had
did.
Garrett's do, I don't know if he did the other one.
Garland's did our old shed. Garland's did. Butch McKenzie boy tore one of the houses down
That was-
on Short Street.
That was
Whenever
Kirk.
we send the RFP out, does that include filling in the building, the basement and everything?
yeah, that included, the only thing that was not, because the discussion at the time of the RFP was to try to, if those 3 mini sheds, or I think there was a discussion of salvaging those. But quite frankly, that's one issue I want to talk about in executive session with that portion.
Can we accept one of these bids now, or what do you want to do?
Every one of them seems to, they have the insurance amount, are well within what they need to be. And yeah, your lowest bid at this point is lowest qualified bid is from Chippewa Landscape and Excavation out of Rockwood, PA, at $13,500.00. The only thing, because the RFP does require it being filled in, is, we would have to clarify with that vendor that she, I shouldn't say he or she is going to fill that basement. They don't state it here, it's part of the RFP, but that's part of the requirement. So I would have no issue recommending under the being contingent to, the vendor following the RFP, that the borough would accept that lowest qualified bid.
That they have fill and seed it.
Correct.
do all
Does
that.
that see what the RFP requires?
Could we have a motion then to accept the lowest bidder, the gentleman from Rockwood? Karen makes that motion.
I'll second it under that condition that.
Yeah.
Okay.
proceeds and-
And we do have a second,
Yes.
but Mark is going to check on that for us. All those in favor of accepting that bid, say aye. Opposed? That is unanimous, folks.
I just have one question. So we don't know anything, we've never heard of them.
I've never dealt with that company. I don't think we've ever dealt with them as a borough with that company.
I didn't know the guy.
Should we have checked some references?
I don't know if he provided references, but
If he's insured, yes.
Do you think we're good?
What's his name?
it's Chippewa Landscape and Excavation. Are you familiar with them at all, Brian?
No, I've never dealt with. Is there?
To the company? They have an email, phone number. I don't see any.
I think he said his name is Camden.
Google it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We should do.
Google it, sure if it is.
It's not.
Well, we've made a motion to approve it, so
Well, you have a first and a second. You didn't get anything.
did we not vote on it?
I don't believe. Did they vote
Did we
on it?
vote?
I thought you did, but
Okay. You're taking the minutes.
That's
you can
fine.
have.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Maybe we didn't. Did we vote on it, Dan, or not?
I don't know.
Nobody knows at this point. Okay, Mark's gonna check on that and, but we have to wait till the second anyways. I'm gonna move on here. Flood control, Karen, the flood control conduit inspection is due. Nothing that, Terry, go ahead.
I spoke with Terry earlier, and I know there's not many, but there's several vendors that can do it. I would suggest, we have to do it, we're required to. And DEP, I believe is DEP, has historically reimbursed us for that. I think that's part of what the program is. From a price wise, it should be easy enough just to get like a phone quote. I don't know if there's actually 3 vendors for a full phone quote. And I think it's gonna be below the phone quote amount of 14,000 and it is reimbursable, but I would just ask for a motion that, whether we allow Terry or whoever, I don't know who is Karen, to, go ahead and get a vendor and get this done.
they want you to
Agreed.
have the cost estimate prior to May 31st.
Okay.
Otherwise, we won't be able to
We'll
get
get it, we
reimbursed.
should be able to get an estimate. I can get vendors.
You'll take care
Yeah.
I
can
mean,
get
Terry
vendors.
has always done that for us.
Yep, we'll get it.
Okay, turning the page, unfinished business zoning ordinance review. That's still open-ended, I think. Stop me if pavilion rain gutter downspout estimate, utilize lunch program donation to assist with the cost. I think that would certainly be acceptable to use that lunch money, summer lunch program for this, because it's something that's gonna benefit their program down there. So, I mean, do we have any information on that?
Still waiting.
And who's gonna give us the estimate?
I have the paper down at my shop.
Is
I
it
can't
Calvin
remember.
Simmons? I know him really well. If you want me to text him and see when he's gonna be over here, I'd be glad to meet with him.
I think that would be
Get an
appropriate.
estimate.
Somerset Planning Commission, UCC Services and Ordinance Enforcement.
We already covered it.
We kind of, that's open-ended at this point. I guess this is the railroad bridge, next steps.
We're gonna talk about
Yeah,
that in
We're
executive.
gonna talk about this.
Okay, executive session coming up. New business announcements. DCNR grant, Cold Water Heritage Partnership mini grants to protect PA streams. Anything on that? Comcast cable TV franchise contract track renewal. You have that for us, Patty?
Yeah, I sent you all a copy of the letter.
This is the
I
next
think
thing.
they either wanna meet or just extend the contract. Says they're taking steps to ensure the renewal of the franchise with the borough.
How long of a plan do they want to renew for? I mean,
It doesn't really stay in this letter.
It's a standard, that the
They're
contract
giving
they
you
use
notice.
is a standard PUC contract. And we really don't have a tremendous amount of choice in doing it, to be quite honest. I mean, you can reject it, but it's a PUC regulated contract and transaction. There's not much negotiation. No negotiation.
were they going to raise the fees? You know that?
The letter doesn't indicate that. Oh,
They have to, any fee, rate changing has to go to the PUC. Yeah, they have to go through a whole.
And do
rate
we know
change.
when it expires?
I
The
don't know
current
that right
contract.
off the top of my head now.
Can we make the motion that Mark works with Patty on that contract and report back to us next month?
Yes, I like that idea. Is there a second to that? Okay, thank you, Bob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's unanimous. And with the expiration, when does it renew, Patty? All that stuff. That sounds good. Animal noise ordinance draft.
Yeah, at the Boroughs Association meeting a few weeks ago that Jeff, Bob, and I were at, I asked other municipalities, the county commissioners, you know, in Charlotte, we had a 411 you could call if there was an animal issue of any sort. Being a commonwealth, it's left up to the commonwealth for us to handle these things. I asked other municipalities what they were doing, especially with the dog noise. Being most of us have a shortage of police, especially police at night when the animals are a bigger problem. Boswell, Miranda from Meyersdale, they're getting ready to do a big ordinance on all of this. She sent me the draft. It was like 12 pages long. Berlin has a very simple one, which is attached here, that has worked very well for them. I sent it to Mark a week or so ago, and the mayor, for them to read it. Article 4 was the only thing that I changed from the other ordinance. Theirs was done in 2003. Like I say, it's worked very well over there. Their fee was only $25. I don't think that's enough of a deterrent. But basically, to sum it up, if any animal has caused an issue on a neighboring property for a continuous period of 30 minutes, 24 hours a day, then they get a written notice either by a police official or a designee, which could be Ed. Then in Article 4, I just suggested, and I'm open to feedback, after they get a written or a oral warning, because we're not here to find anybody, but after that, then $50 for a first offense, second for a second, 100, $250 plus cost for prosecution, I think would be enough to get people's attention. But I think we need to do something. I'm getting yelled at for over on Broadway. Jeff gave my information out to some others with some issues over Easter. I think most municipalities are looking to do something like this. I think it's easy to do. I think because it's 24 hours a day, we have police on duty in the afternoons, evenings, you know, mornings. I think it's a first step to try.
So just to, I'm gonna cut you off.
No,
Okay.
but I don't know about Article 4.
So
It could be worded differently.
the state courts, historically, the borough had an ordinance like this. It wasn't like this, it was similar, but that one was unenforceable because of some of the requirements. And this one, I would, if you were gonna pass it, I would suggest a few additions.
Sure.
What the state courts have laid down is it's about reasonable, and they have language that deals with, it's similar to this, but it's slightly different, where the number of times, so they have what's called an intermittent violation, which means that it lasts for a certain period of time, and you know, it might be, you have over a 60-minute period, you have, you know, so many minutes of intermittent barking, lasting more than a 15-minute period, that kind of thing. But it also has constant, like a continuous issue. It has some framework laid down, it's similar to 4, but it lays it out a lot more particular with the steps that go through. Because that's one of the issues, is when you go out to handle these, actually giving notice to the person for people to take care of the issue and how it's happening. The other thing that I would suggest, and this is the big reason why the police don't like enforcing it, PMCA wouldn't enforce it. We should have a requirement in there that those people who are being affected by it be able to produce a log to show when it's happening, because this is what happens. You'll go to the magistrate. Part of the effect that Berlin has had is people paying attention to the initial warning, which is great, right? The people who don't pay attention to the warning, and you go to the magistrate, the magistrate, and I'm not faulting the magistrate because I agree with this, they need specific testimony. When was the dog barking? How long? How often? You know, what steps were taken to cure it? So if the council would want to proceed with this, it's very basic language, it can be inserted, but it actually takes more involvement from the community, so to speak. Because, you know, if this is a problem, it needs to be done. Now, we had looked at doing this under the nuisance ordinance, but our nuisance ordinance specifically says no dog barking. So if you're gonna deal with this, and this is actually all animal noise, not dogs alone. That's the other issue with most of the ordinances, because they single out dogs. But yeah, although I've never heard anybody complain about cats, I guess it's possible.
Well, you know what, before we get too involved in this, I would like that we put this back on the agenda. I mean, if we'd had a copy of this, I mean, to throw this out at us, and, you know, we all have to
It's just a
sit.
starting point.
It is
of
a starting
discussion.
point, Karen, I agree with you, but at least rather than belabor this tonight, let's all read over it. You can keep it on the agenda for next month, and then, I mean, I may have some questions. The only thing I would say, and it's not related, but when I first got back on again, there was an accident with a child hit a car, and oh my gosh, we have to have this big ordinance. They asked Mark to draw up this ordinance, and it was so restrictive towards bicyclers, you couldn't park on the sidewalks. You couldn't park in the grass, on and on and on. And I think I was the only one that read through that ordinance. And once we discussed it, the last thing we want to do is enact this ordinance against bicycles, because we're a bicycle community. So that's why I would like to take time, just sit down and read it quietly, and then see if I have any questions on this too.
Well, Mark, can I make the motion that we ask Mark over the next week or 10 days to add in a little bit of verbiage
Yeah,
that you think it needs?
I
And then
can,
you send it out to all of us?
I can literally cut and paste the verbiage that's out there. It won't take much, and then you guys can see exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah, because to go to belabor this too much here tonight, I think that's a good idea.
Not to sound jerky, but all ordinances and things that everybody passes on the council, you should always read and understand, just like the things that Patty gives you. So
Right.
it's always good to read and ask questions.
This was a conversation starter, so thank you.
Project dashboard progress.
Motion, did anybody make the second
For what's that, Patty?
for this, for him to add?
Karen made a motion. No, there was not. Very good. Is there a second? Ron, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Go ahead and do it, Mr. Solicitor. Project dashboard progress.
Yeah, we already went through that.
LSA grant application.
Yes, I would like permission to, I heard from Michelle Beaner. I copied Mark. I sent her the whole list of goals, and she feels really good about an LSA grant. Those are due in the fall. So, you know, LSA, there's no match. We would just have to pay her, I think it's $100 application fee, and then their costs for helping us get the grant done. And I would work with the police to get a cost on a new 2027 SUV, I guess. But I would like permission to engage her to do that.
Could we have a motion,
Yeah,
please?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Tom and Ron nods a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. The Quick and the Dead race approval. I read something about this. That's going to be a good thing for
That's the
Meyersdale.
same race.
They do that every
Yeah,
year.
that's been going on.
August or September.
I think it's the same path every year.
Just, let's make a motion that we move forward on that. Is there a motion? Bob, you want to make it?
Sure.
On the quick and the dead race, Bob makes the motion. Is there a second?
It is I believe, a bike event that goes through the town, and they have a scheduled course. They,
Go out by the fairgrounds, go
Correct.
out that way.
Yep.
And all that.
and they take care of whatever permitting's involved. The portion with the borough, they're just asking for use of the streets, I believe. I can't remember if they block anything off, Brian.
Did you send us, I read that whole thing, I don't,
I sent the letter.
I know it was a standard thing that we've had that before, and I don't, you read so much stuff, you can't keep it all straight,
Yeah.
honestly. So did we have that motion to,
I think you had a motion.
Bob made the motion.
Bob made the motion, is there a second? Ron seconds it, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, that is another unanimous decision.
September 26th is the date of that, if this is the right one. Al Davis gravel grinder,
Yeah.
the quick and the dead.
The dead approval, yeah. Okay. Goals and grants, we did discuss the flood control 3 to 5 year plan, community center improvements. I'm just gonna,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Michelle asked, I asked Patty and she printed this out for us. So she sent me a note and said, do you have any green space or recreational projects or any street/sidewalk needs? These are summer grant programs. And I mean, I know we spend a lot of time talking through grants, but I mean, we got $250,000 last year and I don't think we spent much getting those. So this is a multimodal. It has a 30% match. What I thought maybe we could go after is this building, and I mentioned that to you. So maybe it would be landscaping the front of this building, it doesn't look great. I would ask her if we could throw the new sign in. I thought the police tend to park their cars out here and then walk in front of the sign and go over. So I thought maybe we could do a sidewalk, because she says about sidewalks to the police. I thought since the ADA ramp is really accessible from the rear, it really would be nice if we could build sidewalk around from the front to go around there. I thought maybe we could throw the flagpole in there. So I wondered, again, it's a 30% match. I wondered if we could call Miller, Level Acres, and get him out here and give us a quote. And like I said, we'd probably have $1,000 in going after the grant.
When's the due date?
how
That's
much,
a summer.
what was the amount, Karen, 100? How much did you say?
No, the multimodal is a 30% match, and I asked her, we get a really good billing rate, 1,000-ish to go after it. But I really think we'd be surprised at what that would add up to.
But how much is the grant that we're looking for?
That's what she
I don't
was,
know yet, I would have
that's
to
what
get
she's
an
asking,
estimate
permission
from
to get a quote,
Level Acres,
I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So do we want to do that?
They wouldn't do the sidewalk too, or would they?
I would ask for them to do a workaround for the ADA ramp from the front side, since it's only accessible, you have to go through the grass from the front side. So we would do sidewalk there, sidewalk to the police station. Then we would landscape the front. I would ask her about the flagpole, and I would ask her about the sign. The sign's a little iffy, the flagpole's a little iffy. I think the rest of it meets the requirements.
Is there a motion?
I think she made the motion. I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Update equipment. 250th celebration. Increase in police protection. Storm drain review, mapping and cleaning. Police SUV, if it was, and move the location of the police station. Is there anything else? If not, could we make a motion to go into executive session?
We need to, actually, we'll need a motion to amend, amend the agenda, if I can speak, to add executive session, because you recall we had removed executive sessions to be automatically on the agenda.
Right, which, yeah. So could we have a motion to amend the agenda to go into executive session? Karen and Tom, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, unanimous. And we should probably state the reasons, which you had already stated.
Well,
Patty can get those from
the reasons are the High Street Bridge project, 221 Salisbury Street and 24 Broadway Street.
Okay, with that in mind, go ahead.
I just have one thing.
Sure.
They're
Go
gonna
ahead.
come do the floor in the gym on the 27th,
What are they doing to the floor of the gym?
resurfacing it and buffing it.
That's after the festival. Good thinking,
The Monday right after.
good thinking.
You better get out of there.
Thank you for that report. You got it, Patty, for the,
I'm just gonna use the funds
minutes?
out of the
okay.
account that are there. So it should-
It is 7:45 according to my watch. Could we have a motion to go into executive session?
Make that motion.
Ron makes the motion and Tom seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Opposed?
Good night.
Unanimous. We're in executive session.
Brian can hang around for the part of 221 if that's possible.
Yes.
Because you rattled
Let's
the
do this.
property.